I think that sharing, and again, we've talked about this in sharing our story. We don't just walk into a room and be like, all right, guys, I'm going to tell you about my story, and you're all going to have your minds changed. Like, it's not that, but it's more of, as you're connecting dots, as you're experiencing healing, as he's experiencing freedom, as your relationship is growing in intimacy and closeness and connectedness, you share those things. And guess what? As you share that, no one can argue your experience.
Michaela asked this question. It's kind of painting a scenario here, so listen to the question. She says, I'm currently in a serious dating relationship with a guy who is about a year into his recovery. He's in a group, and I'm in a Betrayal and Beyond group. We're doing the work. It's hard, but not perfect, and we're committed and moving forward. So how do I move past close friends and family who don't understand the process and they're being concerned for me? They love me, they want the best for me, and in their minds, the best is someone who's not a recovering sex addict. I understand that they're just worried about what the future may hold, but it's really hard to move forward with the relationship when my friends and family are concerned and not excited for us. I just want to celebrate alongside the people I love. So what can Michaela do?
This is a great question. It reminds me of being at a conference one time, and this young woman came up, and after being at the conference for over a day, and she came up and she said, you know what, I'm here with my fiance, and I'm learning so much about sex addiction and really how serious it is, and we're engaged, and I don't know if I should call off the engagement. And Ashley and I, she was talking to us both, and we said, no, you have one of the good ones. You know, somebody who is going to say, this is my area of struggle.
And they're here and they're working on it.
Yeah. And they told you already know about it. You're not married yet, but you know that this is their struggle. And they want to make sure that not only they're getting healthy, but you are having the support that you need. I think that is a great way to start a relationship. When it comes to friends and family, I think that sometimes they don't necessarily understand what sex addiction is really all about. You know, they think that it's about somebody who has unhealthy, or hypersexuality or something like that, and they don't really know the foundation of it. And so it might be something that, you could invite them in to the conversation a little bit, or give them a podcast to listen to, or, something that is going to maybe expand their worldview so that they can say, oh, okay, I see that this is really about you guys being healthy before you start your life together. And we want to celebrate that with you too. But I think that sometimes they don't have the right information. And so they're afraid.
Yeah. I think, I feel defensive for you, Michaela, because I think that people who approach this conversation like we don't think you should be in a relationship, you need to be with a good guy and on all that, really don't understand the brokenness that we all carry. And I understand that we all have forms of that where we don't see what we don't see. We're in denial about certain things in our story. But I think that the fact that you're working on it together, that you both are in recovery, speaks more to your character and your humility, that look, you realize this is an area that needs to get addressed. And so one of the things that I would do, it's really easy to focus on the negative, but I would just ask that you would spend a little bit of time focusing on the potential future you're crafting with this guy, that not only will you guys be healthier, but your kids, like Lord willing, you guys get married and you guys have 18 kids and they're all amazing. Like maybe not 18. Hopefully that didn't throw you off. But like the idea though of this is painting a future, and allow your story to be what helps your family and your friends see the change or see the shift. I think that sharing, and again, we've talked about this in sharing our story. We don't just walk into a room and be like, all right, guys, I'm going to tell you about my story and you're all going to have your minds changed. Like, it's not that, but it's more of, as you're connecting dots, as you're experiencing healing, as he's experiencing freedom, as your relationship is growing in intimacy and closeness and connectedness, you share those things. And guess what? As you share that, no one can argue your experience. Period. No one can. And so I think that that's just some perspective I'd offer.
Yeah, I think it's an area where stats can maybe help out a little bit. Yeah. If you're able to say, this is something 67 to 70% of men struggle with. And when you're talking young adult men, 20s and under, the numbers go into the 80s and even the high 80s for regular pornography use. And just to say, I would rather be with someone who's aware of their issues and working on them than who acts like everything's okay and I only find out later what we're dealing with. And so if you can find kind, healthy ways to bring that up with your friends and family, I think back to what you were saying, Heather, it may actually be a way that we're helping educate other people about how common and prevalent this is, and moving towards health is a good thing. Yeah. It's not like he's the one guy out of 100 that happens to have a struggle in his sexuality. It's like he's maybe the one guy out of 100 that's actually dealing with it. Yeah. And so to help them see we're moving towards safety and long-term health in our relationship, isn't that better than two people who just live in la la land and think, oh, it'll all be perfect and wonderful, but aren't facing their issues. Yeah. So I think to maybe refer to some of those things. And then at the end of the day, the other thing is just keep pursuing your health, because the healthier you get and your boyfriend gets, it's impossible to hide. And the family and friends, I think, will come around and be like, wow, I maybe didn't get it at first, but there's something going on with him and with you guys that seems really, really healthy. Yeah. And I'm proud of you. So I think if you're consistent and persevere, you will win over a lot of your friends and family.
Yeah, that's good.